fuck talking. Ain't no chit chat, you touch mine, cause fuck yours. Get my lick back, we pulled up and doubled down. Yeah, we hit back and party hard and drink up, nigga.
Yo.
Yo.
What's good, fam? What's good?
Man, ain't too much, man. Busy, busy Monday. I was not prepared. But yeah. I won't prepare for this busy Monday. I swear I wasn't. What's good with you though, man?
Man, so you know how I put in them windows and everything? Storm came through, ripped them all out. Uh, we got Straight Jacket down here in the chat. I sent him some pictures. He was like, wow. The storm did some damage. I ain't gonna lie. It's kind of got me under. But trying to keep my
Yeah.
head up, trying to keep going forward, and you know how it is.
Yep. Yep. What's up, Steve? What's up, SMS? Had the Mo J. Who I miss? I miss anybody? Miss Lotus, what's happening? Straight Jacket, what's happening? Did I say Steve?
Yep. So
Uh,
before we get started tonight, we got our topics for the night, but I want to knock this out early in the show because, as you've seen, because I know you got the thing I sent you earlier. We got a brother in here, Derek Aztec Warrington, down in the chat. He's not on here right now, but he's been in the room plenty of times. He goes over to all the other channels as well. Great gentleman. He just lost everything. I mean, everything in a house fire. It got his house, his garage, the whole 9 yards. It got everything. So, on the KSD page, we have the GoFundMe. On the KSD Discord, we have the GoFundMe. On the KSD group, we have the GoFundMe. In the community chat, we have the GoFundMe. And on my personal page, I have the GoFundMe. Um, all the information is on there. So all of our viewers are great people. Hopefully we can help him get back on his feet and his family as well. So anybody that can help in any way, hit us up and let us know. If you're not hitting the GoFundMe that's on all the platforms, hit us up in the email down here at the bottom. Me and Trouble will definitely get back to you. So remember, Derek Aztec is what he goes by in the chats. He's in need. So I wanted to get that out the way. Everybody pray for him and his family and hope that they can get this stuff taken care of sooner than later.
absolutely, absolutely. Now that we've briefed everybody up on that, welcome to another episode of KSD. Y'all already know Kickstandz Down. We like to do it every Monday, try to do it every Monday, but as you guys know, the host had experienced some weather. So I'm glad that he's safe. Got some rebuilding to do, but I'm glad that he's still with us. He's safe. The family is good. And want to knock out this disclaimer real quick. This is the KSD disclaimer. These are our thoughts and opinions. Our thoughts and opinions only have nothing to do with our projected clubs that we may or may not be with, and or who we may or may not support. Once again, this is Kickstandz Down, KSD, our way, not yours. What say you?
I say that your boy Frost and your boy Trouble is going to give y'all another great show, as always. We don't really have too many complaints whenever we do our shows. So hopefully, there we go. I got it fixed. My screen mirroring was off. I can't point to you right when it mirrors. But hopefully, everything is, going to turn out like always. Thank you, Heather. Sending prayers out to him. Aztec is a great guy. But tonight, all right, tonight we are going to touch on something that we've kind of touched on in the past, but not really got into too many details on, and that is founding slash expanding your MC. So whether that be starting up from scratch and praying to God you're not considered a pop-up club
Right.
and all that, or opening up a new chapter, new charter, whatever it may be, in a new area. So there's always some things that we have to go over. And like Trouble said in our disclaimer, these are our thoughts and opinions, and our thoughts and opinions only. Some of it is from experience and knowledge as well, so it's not just thoughts and opinions. We have been there, done that, and it's all worked out for us. Thank God. So,
Absolutely.
what do you
Absolutely.
what's the first thing that comes to your mind out of the whole list of stuff that you have to do? What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you are thinking about founding a club or
Well,
or expanding?
I was just about to say that Andor. I like that. Uh, well, the first thing I think about is mindset. What is your mindset, and what's the reason you want to even start venturing out into a said club, organization, social club, RC, ministry club, whatever? It's a thousand different verbiages that you can actually use for this particular topic. But why? Like, what's your main focal point? Why do you wanna do this? Is it something that you saw and you want to mimic? Is it something that you've been thinking about but just didn't know how to get started? Do you have a group of people that you ride with and you guys want to do something different? You know what I'm saying? So first off, get your mind right and understand the reasons why you would like to partake in said journey, because that's what it is. And getting your mind right once you get past that stage, getting your people's mind right, because it's way different from calling a buddy on a Friday night and saying let's go ride on Saturday.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's way different from, hey man, you remember that time we went to bike week and we had a ball? Yeah, that's just one event in 12 months. What you do all the other times. You know what I'm saying? How often do you ride? How well do you know your bike if we're doing an MC? You know what I'm saying? Do you know anything about the set that you're trying to partake in? Do you know who's set dominant in your AO, which is area of operation? Um, do you know what a dominant is? So before I dive too deep, I gave you a list of things that you uh, should already have in mind, which is called prep work, preparation, if you shall, and go from there. Uh, Coming from the street life, I never found a club that fit me and my agenda, but I also never wanted to deal with the politics of starting a club. Hey, Steve, that's a good input. What do you mean? Um,
Glad you're okay.
who's that? My bike was hit at my shop this week, waiting to hear if it's going to get fixed for total. Jesus, like, I'm glad you're good, man. That's the second person today that I've heard about a motorcycle accident. Um, and I'm glad that you and my other guys are they're okay. But but yeah, man, preparation. Do your prep work. That would be the first thing that I would say, and then I'm a wait and see what Frost has to add on to that, because you already know I can just run it down. We could do an hour apiece, literally.
on this, on
On
this,
this,
we
we
really
can
could.
literally.
So first for me, all right. First for me is AMA or not.
Mm,
I'm starting at the basics. Going from, if we're gonna really do this and we're gonna do the groundwork, okay? Say we're trying to start one up. The very first
Mm-hmm.
thing that needs to come to mind is what kind of club. So therefore, starting out first and foremost, AMA or outlaw. Which side of the fence are you trying to go on? Some people
Right.
thought that only outlaws had diamonds. They didn't realize that being an outlaw just meant you wasn't sanctioned by the AMA. So,
Yeah.
that being said, depending on which way I'm going from there, let's say we did go outlaws because you know our life. So, it's the side of the tracks we ended up on. So, that's what we'll speak on. Of course, I got a train going by. But hopefully, it's not too loud for you guys.
Now you good.
But um, let's say we do go outlaw side, okay? Do I want to be an MC, an RC, an SC, an organization, vet club, all male club, co-ed club nowadays? Co-ed's acceptable. So
Mm-hmm.
what kind of club do I want to be? Do I want to be support? Like which way do I want to go with it? Once I get
Right.
there, my next step is asking myself why I'm not just joining one that's already made. Why am I making one? And like Steve said up here, I'm gonna go ahead and touch on that. Coming from the street life, he didn't find one that fit him or his agenda. But at the same time, he didn't want to go through the politics of starting one. And a lot of people don't know it takes a lot of time, okay? Starting an MC is not an easy thing. I'll go ahead and tell you right now.
Mm-mm. Not at
It's
all.
not.
Not
But
at all.
after I decide what kind of club I want, the first thing I'm gonna go to, besides the basic name and all that kind of stuff that everyone's already got in their mind by the time they get this far, is bylaws. I'm gonna write my bylaws first.
Yeah. Hopefully everybody knows what a bylaw is.
So, if not, you want to break it down for them?
Yep. What a bylaw is your Bible, your your format, your understood, your don't breaky you buy for your club. All right. Everybody has a set. If I'm not mistaken, if you want to go outside of the MC world, and if you want to just talk about somebody else who has rags on, Girl Scouts, pretty sure they have a set of bylaws that they have to follow. So expand your thought pattern when you're starting to think about club life because it goes deeper than a motorcycle. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people out here that are actually in clubs. You know what I'm saying? You got band clubs, you got all sorts of clubs. But if we're sticking strictly to protocol on the MC culture, which that's what we're doing, 99 to be more specific, um, yeah, the bylaws are going to be what you're going to stand on, what you're going to stand by, what you're going to lean back towards when situations arrive, and how to handle your club, how to make your club gel together as far as protocol, guidance, understanding. That's what be my termination. I mean, that terminology. I said termination, boy. That's another.
So I'm gonna start working with them bylaws.
Woo, never mind. But yeah, that would be what I would say. Bylaws being to the club.
So if you're writing your bylaws, okay, we all know that there's different articles of the bylaws.
Hmm.
All right. Let me state this for the record real quick. So the reason of tonight's show is because we got some viewers on here that has been thinking about starting a club since 2015, right?
Mm.
And when I talked to them about it, they sounded pretty sure of themselves. So they was like, "Hey, what do you think about us sending over a copy of the bylaws, you looking over and seeing what you think about it?" I'm like, "Sure, I'll do that. I've done it for other clubs before. I have no problem doing that. I'll even delete it once I'm done with it. Blah blah blah." Then I get a message, and the message is, "Hey, man, so I'm not sending those over now. I got to thinking about some of the stuff you said, and we're just not up to par on the bylaws right now. So we want to go back and rewrite them and try to tighten them up a little bit. So you do have to make sure that your bylaws, all right, these are your rules for your club, your regulations that you stand by. It's the black and white. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about these. These are it. This is what you go by. This is your club's Bible, okay? So you want to make sure that you've got it all written down and you're thinking about the smaller stuff. So everyone thinks about the big stuff. What are we going to name ourselves? What is our mission statement? What are we going to do with punishments and terminations? And what about fines and dues and all that? Okay. What certain clubs don't talk about, which I have found happens more often than not, where's it at in the bylaws if a bro steals from the club?
Mm-hmm.
Where's it at in the bylaws if a bro steals from a bro or a bro fights with a bro? Those are
Mm-hmm.
unwritten rules that we all go by, but not all clubs put those into their bylaws. That's small stuff that, I think needs to be in there. What about you?
Yeah, man. Definitely. What I would like to call them is the gray areas, right? Because you have men and women. I'm pretty sure, but I can only speak from a man's perspective right now. Because there's people that are going to enter your life and your club that are going to always look for a loophole, easy way out, right? So let's just say the bylaws has something that's mentioning how many rides you have to do that's mandatory a year, and if you don't attend, then there's a fine. Okay, so if you put the fine down, and that particular member has a extremely significant amount of cash flow, what he's basically going to do is going to decide if he want to ride or not. He's just going to pay the fine, just get it over with. You know what I'm saying? And that, in all actuality, what he's doing is he's gonna find a loophole, which that you put in the bylaws. You know what I'm saying? But you weren't specific. So versus the camaraderie, the brotherhood, the learning on the road, learning each other on the road, building a relationship, and all that good stuff, that's out the window because now you only got two or three members that's actually doing it for real, and the rest of them are just finding loopholes. This is a great topic. Too many people think it takes just balls to start a club, but in actuality, it takes intelligence. Absolutely. I say it all the time. Appreciate you, Steve. I say it all the time. This is a political game. I don't care what you say. It's very, very much political. Yes, you're supposed to do. Suppose I'm going to say it. You're supposed to do some riding. You're supposed to do some stuff, some community work. If you decide to do that, da 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 da. But most of it is politics because once you get from point A to point B, you're sitting down or you're standing up and you're politicking. Okay, what you got going on, man? What's the next, this, that, and the third? Da, 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 da. That's called politics. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then when it comes to rules and regulations, if you happen to fall up under the support side, there's more politics behind that. You know what I'm saying? And then if you choose not to fall up on the support side, but you did get your blessings from said dominant, it's politics with that. So you see what I'm saying? Everything it falls into politics. So you have to have a keen mind and don't be so soft. You know what I'm saying? Try to keep your emotions out of it. Although we can get emotional, but try to keep your emotions out of it and stick to what you know. That's why it's good to do your due diligence before you decide to do anything in life, right? So
Ooh, due
why would you play
diligence.
around with the fact? Yeah, yeah, you got to hit them with something every now and then. You know what I'm saying? So why would you play around with start being a founder first and foremost and starting up an organization? Because whether you know it or not, clubs tend to falter within the first 5 years. You first three really, if you want to be honest. But I'll give you
Yeah,
five.
if you're lucky enough to make it past the first year,
Right.
then normally you make it to your third or your fifth anniversary. Now, if you can make it past that, then you're pretty good for the most
Yeah,
part.
you should be for the most part,
But
unless something happens.
I've watched a few crumble within, the first year.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, you talking about doing due diligence and politicking, which, you know, made me start thinking about this. So,
Mm-hmm.
we both, come from this life, um,
Mm-hmm.
which makes me want to bring up Genesis comment real quick.
Yeah, that's
The
what I was
first
looking at.
question I asked before we started to everyone involved in this: is it going to be a hobby or a lifestyle? That is a great question to ask the people that you're trying to start this with, because it is a lifestyle. It's not a hobby.
It is.
Okay, be an
Nah.
independent biker if you want to be a hobbyist. Be independent. Go ride your rocket, your cruiser, whatever by yourself. Don't put on no rags, no cuts, no colors, no vests, no nothing. Just go ride. Be a civilian. Have fun. Because once you get
See,
into this club life, clubbers are not free. It is a lifestyle. So
most definitely.
let's say we're starting it up. All right, we got our bylaws now. Who's gonna have what position?
Hmm.
What position is right for who? And we all know you got to have at least five. That's the top five. That's a given. If you have more, great. More power to you. We salute you, and we're glad you was able to do so. But if you ain't, make sure you got at least that five. But who's gonna take what role? Because the gentleman that I was talking to, he was gonna put. Well, he didn't want it, but everyone was wanting to put him in the president's spot. Now, he didn't think that it was going to be all this and that being in the president's spot. But once I started breaking down what it takes to be a president, what it takes to be a VP, what it takes to be a sergeant at arms, a treasurer, a secretary, all the different positions that we have to have, then he was like, yo, you know what, maybe, because we was on a group call, he's like, maybe you're better for that than me. Maybe I need to be this position. And I don't know how you do it in your club, because
Mm-hmm.
some clubs do allow it, but in every club I've ever been in or been associated with, president don't get a vote.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't want to lose their vote. That's my main thing for not wanting to be a president. I don't want to lose my vote. So in order to keep that voice, I said I don't want that spot. I'd like it. I would love to come help and be VP, but I don't want press spot. I don't want that top spot. I want a say so. So how how is it in your specific? Does your prez have a vote?
Perez is a tiebreaker. Um, he has a say so. He moves how he moves. He talks how he talks. He brings food to the table, so to speak. And it's up to us to eat. But the thing is about that president seat. So I'm gonna talk off experience. I had a president seat. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say I'm not fit to be a pres, but I'm too much of a communicator and hands on to sit in that seat. You know what I'm saying? Because if I see something that needs to get done, it's going to get done. And nine times out of 10, I'm going to step on my VP shoes for doing it. So, what I did, me as the pres of said club, said year ago, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, who knows? Um, what I did was I tried to handpick, right? Handpick the best person for said seats according to their ability, their years, and or not less than, and knowledge, right? Because what you want is you want somebody that's a sponge, but also you want somebody that's not going to agree with you 100% of the time. You know what I'm saying? So, right, while it can be fun, it's about 10% fun. The rest of it is a challenge. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be not only coachable, but you have to be teachable as well. You understand me? So it's it's fun. But when I was sitting in that seat, um, it was very challenging because it was like I'm trusting you guys. I'm gonna bring forth the information, but I'm trusting you guys to make the right decision. You know what I'm saying? Now, can I override? I can, but do you want to do that to lower the morale of your club? Every time they come up with a decision, you always override because you think you know best.
Definitely not.
Just because you got the number one seat, does that mean that you know best just because you got the number one seat? No, it doesn't. It just means that they chose you to be the face of the club. All right, the true leader of it is the VP. Let's be honest here. You know what I'm saying? The body itself, you know what I'm saying, that presents the club, that's the press. You know what I'm saying? But the inner workings of the gears and you know what I'm saying, the transmission and the oil and all that shifting, that goes to the number two. You know what I'm saying? So you got to figure out what kind of person you are before you even think about position. So it's a P, but you got to figure out the first P first. You know what I'm saying? What say you?
So I'm right there with you. For the top five, not really hand picking, but everybody coming together and doing a doing a sit down to talk and hold your own church. Hey, this is your strong suit. This is my strong suit. This is what you're good at. This is what I'm good at. Um, I'm no good at keeping track of stuff. I hate writing stuff down. As you know from this show, we don't write nothing down. They ask us what we're going to talk about on the show, and we show them an empty piece of notebook paper. That is exactly why I suck at being a secretary. Now, I am very meticulous and all that, so I do great at being a sergeant
Right.
because I'm good at that role. Now, the VP role, keeping everything maintained inside your club. Okay, that's the VP's job. You maintain the day-to-day operations inside your club. That right there, I love that too because you still get to be hands-on. You still get to talk to everybody. Nobody likes the sergeant because I'm always the guy that's saying, "Hey, you're doing this wrong, or you need to be fined for this, or you need to pick up this," and you slacking here, slacking there. So no one likes me, but I really don't care. So it makes that perfect for me because I don't care if I'm hated or not. It's gonna get done. But that is something that they wasn't really sure on once we started talking about it. Hey, maybe this one's better. You're better at keeping track of money. Maybe you should be the treasurer. You're better at enforcing the rules and not caring what people think about you. So maybe you should be the sergeant. You know, and once you get that basic setup for at least your top five, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
But when you are founding, expanding, starting a new chapter, charter somewhere in a different location, these are all things that come up, whether it's founding or expanding. You got to know who's going to be where and whether or not they're going to be good at it. They might not be good at it.
Yeah.
But I promise you, the best ones for the role are the ones that no one wants. They don't want that role. It's not gray, it's chrome. So, so, so the best one for the role is the one that don't want the role. You know why?
Yeah,
Because they didn't want it. So therefore, they're not gonna sit there and think about it like the one that's, hey, I want this position. I want this position. I want this position. You know why you ain't getting this position? Because you're too thirsty for it. It makes people think that there's some hidden agenda, and there really shouldn't be.
right.
So now we got the bylaws, we got the positions. What about colors?
Mm. Before we hit colors, there's another thing that we miss that you should definitely think about when picking any position in the club, especially the top three. Not going to say if you have a family, you can't do it. But what I am going to say, family man, is it's going to take some time away from the fam. Did you understand how I
Facts.
just put that? So, with that being said, oh, I'll be the first. That's an obligation. I'll be the number two. That's an obligation. I'll be the number three, four, five. They're all obligations. But I tell you what, one through three, especially number one, is going to get more phone calls than anybody. So think about that. Think about what you already got going on in life. You see what I'm saying? So if you have a job, you got kids, you got this, you got that, you got this. All right, now you already filled up one hand. You got one more hand to go. And you got to squeeze in some personal time. You got to eat. You know what I'm saying? Vacations that you already have planned. Yeah, you got to. It's a lot. You know what I'm saying? And only the ones who are strong minded can do the judgment. You know what I'm saying? As far as those seats. And I'm going to sit here and tell you, two time. What am I? Two time. Two time champ. I like to call myself two-time champ in this seat. It's hard, boy. It's hard, but I make it look good. You know what I'm saying? Because I know my job and I know how to not overstep my job. I know how to let everybody around me do theirs. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? But you said, what was the next one? My bad. I just had to throw that in there because I don't want everybody thinking that just because you get to pick seats and you put this person there, you put that person there, and then you hit that wall in the conversation, now you don't know where to go with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, you
I feel
got
like I'm
to you
becoming
got to have all
almost
that.
famous.
Oh wow, you did look a little smarter.
I'm very, very intellectual. But the next one was colors.
Colors, yeah, yeah. So how do you get to choose your club's colors and name? Because that's associated with your colors, right? Right. So there's something that you can look into. There's a website. Oh man, what is the name of the website? I forgot. However, you have to get approval anyway. You know what I'm saying? So when you I forgot the whole name, but when you're going through when you get you think you're getting set up right, and then you got to go through your colors conversation. You have to get the approval anyway. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna go sit down in front of said people, and hey, this is what we got. These are our bylaws. This is how many people we got, and this is what we're thinking about coming out as representation. And it's gonna be up to them to look at all this said information and either say, okay, you're good to go, but you're on probationary period for X amount of time. And if you survive that, then you can rock your hard colors. Or they can say, you can't use that one, buddy. Right? You got a club out there like that. Try again. Now that's gonna get a headache because there's so many clubs out here, right? So many different color and patch setups, right? Right. So how are you gonna be unique?
You know, that's a great question. So I've actually dealt with this before, and not only was the colors that was gonna be used already part of the nation, but check this out:
Hmm.
a derivative of the name was
Mm-hmm.
already part of the nation.
Oh wow.
So instead of being able to use the name because someone already had a name like it inside the same nation, it's like, nah, you can't do it. Because there was already two other clubs with the same colors, it's nah, you couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So it was, it was very difficult to come up with that. But
Yeah.
that's whenever you sit down, okay, and in this situation, support. That's easy.
Mm-hmm. Hang around. Yep.
That's easy. We go to Big Bros. Hey, yo, who in the nation's got these colors? Who in the nation's got
Right.
this name? Does anyone have these colors or this name? And you take it from there. Now, let's say
Right.
that the colors that you choose, you've already got written into your bylaws. You've already got their
Mm.
meaning and everything behind it. This color stands for this and means this, and this one means that and stands for that. So then, do you have to scrap your whole bylaws? Do you
Mm-mm.
have to
She
scrap
got it.
just that section? Do you need to rethink the whole 9 yards? Because sometimes that happens.
Mm-hmm.
So with the gentleman that we're doing this show to try to help, they had the bylaws written. Um, they had their logo and layout and everything ready. But the one thing they completely forgot was colors and the significance behind them.
Mm-hmm.
So then they're like, oh man, I ain't even think about that. So Frost, thank you for that information. Let me go back and rethink. I get back to you. All right, bro. You know how to reach us. We don't hide. Me and Trouble's right here. Y'all need some information, hit us up. If we don't have the information you need, we can gladly put you in touch with somebody that is willing to help you. But
Yep.
in this situation, they didn't even think about colors. So I had to sit down and explain, what the colors meant, the significance behind the colors and having those colors. And now they're like, hey, we need to rewrite this. We need to get these colors in here. We need to, not just go with what we was going to go with because, we was just going to go with the random black and white. Why not? Um, well, there's a lot of diamonds that use black and white. They might take offense to it. There's a lot of support black and white that might take offense to it. So you do want that uniqueness, like Trouble was saying. Make sure you stand out. Don't be the normal people. Trouble's got to hear me say, I have seen vests with the reflective threads in them. I've seen vests with LEDs, not even lying, LEDs sublimated over sublimated plastic over LEDs, so the whole patch lights up. I've seen glow in the dark patches. I've got a glow in the dark middle finger that goes on my rags, and I love it. But at the end of the day, that the colors is something that you got to think about. Why was your
Absolutely.
why was it significant for you? How easy was it for you to pull that off?
Who me?
Yeah, you.
I got lucky. The said club that I was able to open up a father chapter for, they already had their colors. They was already a club. I just helped out with the expansion portion. Um, now, as far as colors and patch setup, you said how important is it? Is that what you
To
asked me?
the uniqueness that you wanted to point
Oh,
out.
uniqueness. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, bingo. Yo, so I didn't really come up with an idea, but I was hitting around to said club. I was like, hey, yo, y'all done had the same setup forever, bro. Like, don't you want to kind of like, you know what I'm saying, switch it up a little bit? Because I done seen some that, you know what I'm saying, be fire. Nah, we good. You know what I'm saying? This, that, and the third. Da, 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 da. I'm like, yeah, but you know, want to be a little different. You know what I'm saying? To make it pop a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that something was wrong with the original setup because it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? I was a huge fan of it. But when I talk to my sis, who does you know patches and stitches and stuff like that, she had came up with this design, and I was like, "Yo, that's hard. Are you about to do that?" She's like, "Oh, it's just an idea." I was like, "It's an idea." So ran back to who I need to run back to. We had a conversation, you know what I'm saying, and they rocking it now, you know what I'm saying. But yo, when I tell you like the uniqueness and the simplicity of your name with the meaning attached can make you stand out way more than a graffiti with you can't tell what it is and you don't know what the writing means. You know what I'm saying? But you just know they was there. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you're gonna start up a club, man, start up a club off of what you guys are number one into and and familiar with and what means the most to you. You know what I'm saying? If it's let's just say if it's family over friends, you know what I'm saying? FOF, you know what I'm saying? Make it mean something though. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're gonna rock a big old FOF patch, you know what I'm saying? And then you got your centerpiece that says this, that, and the third, da, 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 or it's a design. Make it worth it. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to think about it. You're setting the groundwork for future brothers. You want them future brothers to be looking at you, teach you how to get some future brothers too. You want your future brothers and or sisters to be looking at you, but when you turn your back, when they look at that setup, you want them thinking like, dang, I can't wait to have it on my back. You know what I'm saying? Something that stick out. You feel me? Because your personality should already stick out. Your mannerisms and your knowledge and the way you move should already stick out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna drop something real quick. Little Jim. You feel me? I'm gonna throw one diamond at you. Just one. The best way to get in my opinion, the best way to get somebody interested in your club if you don't have enough, you know what I'm saying, to start up a club, for number one, when you have a conversation, you don't talk about club stuff first and foremost. Get to know that person for a person before you can start critiquing whether they're good enough to be in a brotherhood or a sisterhood, right? And then number two, let's just say you already set up, right? You know, you're the founder, you got your originals, and you know what I'm saying. You got your pat set up and all of that good stuff. Anytime that you ride with said individual, make sure they see your back as much as possible on purpose by mistake, if you follow me. You know what I'm saying? So they should never be like really riding in front of you anyway, especially if they're civilian. But let them ride behind you, let them ride beside you. You know what I'm saying? When you going to go get something to eat, open the door for them. You know what I'm saying? Let them walk in first, and then you come right back in front of them. Like, show your stuff off, man. Advertisement, that's what it is. You're a walking billboard for your club. So advertise that thing. I don't know what Frost went. I think he went to his bathroom or something. He just disappeared. Oh, there he goes. Hey, I wasn't talking about you.
Nah,
Mm-mm.
my mic was still on. I was just over here stuffing my face. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Oh,
Um,
I think go.
but
Excuse me.
yeah. So the wife and the sister-in-law, you know, they threw together some sloppy joes, so we having some sloppy joes today. So I'm out here
Oh, nice.
trying to beat the bugs to it, because man, these Kentucky bugs don't play. I'm over here getting eat up right now. That's why you normally see me inside the vehicle or something, because I be trying to hide.
Hey, yeah, I can tell they're offending you because you definitely did the wrong verbiage. I'm
I'm
getting
telling
eat
you.
up out here.
Man,
Yeah,
they
oh my
killing
god.
me, bruh. But but no, I'm right there with you. You know, you do want to you do want to show your patches. Why? Because see, told you. That's why people. You know what? Kiss my ass. Cause cause people out here, you know, perfect. I'm done with y'all. So actually, back on track. Got my mind and my ideas back where I was going because you know y'all some jackasses that fucked me up for a minute. Um, the other day, all right, Debo and you both got to hear from me the other day because I was like, "Yo, I know them colors, I
Hmm.
know them patches." Blah blah blah. Finally, ended up getting in touch with those bros, and I was like, "Hey, bro, it's good to see y'all up here." I was messing with this chapter down here, that chapter over there, blah blah blah. I'm so done with y'all. But but yeah, they they actually, you know, they reached out. We in communication now. I know where they at. They know where I'm at. But it all was just from me seeing that patch, me seeing them colors.
Hmm.
And to be
Prime
completely
example.
honest, I heard the bikes first.
Yeah.
And when you are a part of a nation and you travel and you actually get out there and meet these bros in other locations, you get around certain bros or certain people and you're like, hey, I know the sound of that bike. I've seen that bike before. I know that bike. I've heard it. I know that bike. So that's what got my attention. I looked up and I was like, I knew that was bros. And ended up finding out, you know, where they at and all that kind of stuff. So just being seen is all it takes. He ain't lying to you. That's all it takes.
Now
But
watch
being
this.
seen is what it's mostly about. Whenever you in the stage that you in, if the uh if the gentleman if the gentleman that's, you know, being spoke about tonight are in here, I told them a very great thing that, you know, I'm sure you will gladly support. You ain't gotta have patches to go meet the dominant in your area. Be
Hmm.
respectful about it.
Hmm.
Explain to them, yo, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. And 9 times out of 10, they'll help you do it if you're a part of that set. If you're not a part of that set and it's a different set, say, you know, we're on the black set, say the white dominant's over here instead of a black dominant. Okay, then I find the closest black dominant to me and I go explain myself to them and let them handle all the white and black disputes because we are support. So I ain't got to worry
Hmm.
about that. I let the big bros handle the big bro shit. Dominants handle dominance. Okay,
That's right.
and that's exactly how you should be. But be respectful. Um, we got a question in here. Writing
Yeah.
bylaws. How are they supposed to look? So, personal opinion and experience. Your bylaws are written out kind of like your lease or any other contract that you've ever looked at, because that's what your bylaws are.
I like
They're a
that. I like
contract
that.
between you and your bros. So you want to have certain stuff in certain areas. So say Article 1 is explaining your mission statement. All right. All the stuff that has to go about what your mission statement's going to be, what your club's about, club name, all that goes right there. Say Article 2 is about colors. Then that's your colors. All right. You want to state this color means this color means that, this is what the emblem means, this is what that patch means, all that. Put it all in the same area. All right. Punishments, dues, fines, all that. put it in another article, make your
Mm-hmm.
pinpoints for each article, and go into as much detail as you can. You got anything else besides that to add to that one?
That's actually good. Another thing that you can do, you don't have to, but you can also put at the top or somewhere inside of it. Um, the we already talked about positions, right? So the cabinet. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? You can have your cabinet in there. You can also have the 1 through 5 or 6 um, cabinets definitions inside the bylaws because generally bylaws are a study point as well as a guideline, right? So you should be looking at them quite frequently. You know what I'm saying? Just to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to and your knowledge is still a refresher, if you will. Don't just sit down, get your bylaws together, review them a couple times just so you can know it fluently before you get the blessing, and then you let them see it, and then you get blessed, and then that, and then you forget about your bylaws. Nah, I don't do that. You got to stay. You got to stay on point. Um, and it just depends on what else you want to what else you want to put in there. You know what I'm saying? If you want to have a different set of guidelines and or probationary bylaws for prospects, or if you want to have them all in the same listing. Like he said, just make sure that you categorize and you put the right articles with the right information. You know what I'm saying? But that would be all I have for that one.
So he said, should there be a template? And Red said, don't really think a template matters as long as it's able to be understood clearly.
Yeah,
And I agree. You
yeah,
don't
I
have
agree.
to you don't have to, have it laid out a certain way. There's not a way to do it. Each club, okay, is different. To be completely honest, each chapter is different.
Absolutely.
So whenever I was in one chapter, my chapter only, within my club, within my nation, had we have to do 30 hours of community service a month.
Mm,
Now, we took the vote and added that to the bylaws for our chapter. That doesn't mean that everyone else has to go along with it. That's just what we are holding people to. As
hmm.
bros, we're going out there together as bros and we're doing community service hours together. Why? Because it brings the bros together. That's my personal thing on the templates. It can
Gotcha.
be written different ways. It's not
Yeah, yeah.
all, yeah, it's not all just whatever everybody runs with the same thing. It's
Mm-mm.
each one is different. But
So I tell you what, Google is your friend. So you can just type it in, bylaw templates, and then you can see different formats.
yep.
And whatever is going to work for you is going to work for you. Just like a resume, you know what I'm saying? You can type in how to write up a resume is going to show you. You know what I'm saying? So you do the same thing with your bylaws. Don't copyright, but you do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Just so you can get a general idea of how it needs to be set up.
So
Um,
I got a
that one.
question. How do y'all feel about clubs who start up and go full renegade? The ones that are hated but keep it G and go full FTW.
Mm. How do we feel?
Yeah,
That was
how
the
do we
question.
feel about it?
I don't feel no type of way. That's on them. See, I fall into a different category. I fall in that category as support. So if they want to do what they do what they do, and we'll see what happens. So
Okay.
I don't feel no type of way.
Me, however, as you know, I am a stickler for the culture, history, protocols, all that goes along with the MC world and lifestyle. I believe that if you ain't getting that blessing, you don't exist. You need to take the time to work your way up. Not saying that, there aren't clubs out there that's done it, because we all know that there was a club not too long ago that this was the topic for on many different channels, Steve. I know you know it personally because I was in the chats with you when all this was going on. So I know that there's clubs out there that do it. Do I agree with it? No. No, I do not. I believe that if you're going to be in this world and you're going to continue to pass on the culture, the history, and the protocol, then you need to take the time to respect said protocol, history, and culture. Mm.
I like that one.
What is your opinion on the saturation of clubs in the area while starting a club? Who do you need to get a blessing from? And if you pick one once, the other one, what's the blowback? Oh, so
Yeah. Let's
this
see
one,
how you gonna do
Steve, you getting on my nerves tonight. Nah, nah. So,
it.
in my opinion, if there's enough, clubs out there, then why aren't you a part of one? There's guaranteed to be one, at least one, that you're like minded with, if it's that
Hmm.
saturated in your area. Therefore, no reason for you to start a club, do a pop up club, become a club, whatever. Now, part two of this question: who do you need to get the blessing from? Okay, that is a tough question because there are
Very much so.
different ways to answer this question, depending
Hmm.
on what type of club you're going to be.
Mm.
Now, are you going to be a riding club, a social club, or a support MC underneath a dominant? Or are you going to be out on your own? Because if you're going to be underneath a dominant, then that dominant's the only one you need to get a blessing for. They can handle all the groundwork beyond that. You get their blessing. Now, if you're going to be out on your own, I'm not going to lie. I've seen this done plenty of times where there's bros that go and they find out, hey, the COC meeting's going to be here. How do I get invited? And then a bro vows for them, gets them into the COC meeting. And for those of you that don't know, COC is the Council of Clubs. It's where all the dominants come together to talk about what needs to be fixed on the set. So once you get into that meeting, then you address it. Hey, we're wanting to start up. We want a blessing. We want to do it the right way, blah, blah, blah. That is about the realest part of a movie that I've ever seen. You all know Black Dragon and Biker Boys and all that. What did they do? They went to the meeting, they took the vote, and they got the blessing. It don't always happen right away. Sometimes you got to get out there, be seen, and show that you're willing to do the groundwork. So sometimes there is blowback, but you got to be prepared to handle that blowback. What do
That's
you think
right.
about that?
Um, Saturation of clubs in the area. Wow, start up a club. Who you need to get a blessing from? Okay, yeah. So first part, I'm not going to touch because you cleared that all the way up. Depends on what type of club you're trying to do. If you're trying to be supportive, if you just want your blessing, if you, I mean, there's several different ways to go from. Go from there. However, blowback, don't care about. Um, but what I would do is sit back for a little bit, especially if you're new to the area, and find out who pretty much has the most numbers in that area according to getting blessed. You know what I'm saying? So, say like if you go to, let's just say you sat down for 6 months, right? And you waited till everything got popping in that area, and you start going to different events. Don't go to different events to go have fun. Enjoy yourself, but don't have fun. You're there to work. So you're there to network, you're there to talk, you're there to look, you're there to listen. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the times, if they are support, it'll be up there. You know what I'm saying? You'll be able to see it. Other times, if they just got the blessing, you won't be able to see anything. You know what I'm saying? But off of if done correctly, off of movements inside of said AO, you'll figure it out real fast. You know what I'm saying? Who to go
Yep.
to and who to talk to. And if you don't see the movement like you should see the movement, then that's when you ask the questions. Like, hey, yo, who, you know what I'm saying, over this area, who should I be talking to if I want to do this, that, and third? And that's when those line of questions going to happen. Well, what you trying to do? Well, why don't you just join this club? So that's just my little 2 cents on that. Don't worry about a blowback. Only blowback you got to worry about is if you gonna jump straight off the porch and say that I'm setting up shop. That's where you're gonna get blowback. Um, where do you get the basis and foundation for your bylaws? Who creates slash writes the bylaws? Hey, founders, founders, you guys get together. Takes 5 people, right? Right. So y'all 5 people put your heads together. Y'all come up with something. Now, does that mean that once the bylaws have been written, that they can't be altered? No. What we're saying is, once you first start them up, you get your founders together, get your top five together, or whatever the case may be, depending on how many members you got. But everybody give their inputs and dope conversations, fellas. This is definitely becoming one of my favorite. Hey, that's what I like to hear. Bah, 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 bah. We need some bells and whistles and stuff. Okay, but anyway, um, yeah. So you start off with those guys or gals, and you go from there. Now, the more that you grow as a club, and the more that you learn as a club, you can start to alter your bylaws to be custom to how your club is growing. Um, oh, if we are going to have this conversation, we need to make sure we cover all bases. Did I miss something?
No, he's talking about where I said he's getting on my nerves tonight.
Oh, yeah. So look, we're over an hour, but I do want to summarize, right? Because we did a lot. All right. So I missed. It was like 2 comments earlier. It was good. Well, I think Steve, you were reiterating how much you like this conversation. I believe that's what it was. But so basically, ladies and gents, if you want to get in this world off of my synopsis, and then I want Foster to do his, and then we can do whatever after that. But if you want to get into this lifestyle, right, and you think you want to start up a club, you think you want to be a founder, think. That's what I'm going to say. Think first, because it sounds good until you get in the mud and you get stuck, and you have nobody to help you. Because you can get 20 people right now that you ride with on a daily. You say, hey man, I'm thinking about starting up a club. Everybody gonna say they're for it. But when you start putting in that legwork, they start putting in that legwork. And if you happen to have to fall up under somebody and it's taking too long for the blessing and you can't never get your bylaws together, or the 20 people that were said that they were game, now they got certain different obligations, and now you're down to 10, and then that 10 gets down to 7, and then you're left with 5 when it's really time to go showtime. You sure you still ready? Because that's usually how it's going to happen. I seen the club start with 24 strong and ended up with 5. How do you do that? Because not everybody's going to be on the same mind track as you. Not everybody's going to want who was it? Was it Steve that said that protocol, or was it Straight Jack? Who was it? It was one of y'all, or was it SNS? Somebody that said not everybody's going to want to follow that protocol. Not everybody's want to go abide by rules and regulations and do what? About who? About law. What is about law? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just make sure you do your due diligence, please. You know what I'm saying? Because the word saturated was thrown out there. And yes, it has been. You know what I'm saying? So want to keep the realness going, as much realness is left. We want to keep the support side going. We want to keep, you know what I'm saying, the whole as a unit, you know what I'm saying? Like don't segregate yourself either just because, you know what I'm saying, you may fall up under somebody, you know what I'm saying, on support level. Don't segregate yourself. Like if there's a non-support that's in your area, go over there and see what they talk about. You never know. Bump some elbows, bump some shoulders. Don't just limit yourself to bikes either. I mean, they got car clubs, truck clubs out here. Everybody can, you know what I'm saying, come and support you. And you can go support them. You see what I'm saying? It's called support at the end of the day. You feel me? But that's just a whole. That's what I wanted to put out there because I know we covered a lot of information, and the beautiful thing about it is you can do what like, share, subscribe, and play it again, just in case you missed something. But I wanted to put everything in a ball for you, just to you know what I'm saying, help you bring it all full surface. Yeah, it's work. It's just what you do every day. But the more times that you put in work, the repetition of it becomes easier as you go. Straight up.
Facts.
What you got, folks?
So I do want to touch on one more thing real
Okay.
quick. Not only, are we forgetting that Trouble hasn't done his Mental Health Monday show tonight. So
Max. Yeah.
go over to
Yeah.
Easy Thoughts with a Z on Facebook and follow because you don't want to miss the Mental Health Monday. So let me shout that out real quick. But
Appreciate you, fam.
yeah, you already know. The top five, right? My word of advice for the top five at the end of the day is me and Trouble live in two different states. We used to be in the same state, but we still lived in two different areas. Now, me and him come together. We say, hey, let's start up a club. But how we gonna do that? You on that side of the state, I'm on this side of the state. Where are we gonna, make that happen at? Or we're in different
Right.
states. How are we gonna make this happen?
Right.
So make sure that your top five for your founding chapter is in the same area, okay? Because those five are going to be the initial five that's laying all the groundwork for the rest of the club. Now, say Trouble's got four people out his way. We're talking about starting up a club. I've only got two, okay? It's easier for him to find one more, start up the chapter, start up the club, and do what he's got to do, even though me and him are working together. Once I find my five, then I can branch off. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to be there for him or be, a founder, one of the first or whatever. So if you're worried about that title, don't be worried about that because it can still happen. But your first five that you're putting in them rags, in them soft colors, and taking to the table, those are the ones that all the attention's on. Those are the ones that you want in the same area because they're the ones making the same events, the same meetings, the same hang nights, the same rides, the same bike washes, the same cookouts. It's all the same. Now, when we're ready to branch off, then we can branch off. We can go elsewhere. But
Yep.
make sure that you're all in the same area. And like Steve said, no matter what side you fall on, make sure you ride frequently and ride safe.
Correct.
Well, as safe as us hooligans can.
Correct. Because I think we covered that in a chat or two further back. That's why you should like, share, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, as well as chime in every Monday at 7, roughly
So,
ish.
for those of you that want the link to Trouble's Facebook, want the link to my Facebook, whatever, go check our page description right here on YouTube. It's in the links. We have all the links for all the other channels we support, for our personal Facebook pages, for everything. Okay? The email, the whole 9 yards is all in the links of the channel here on YouTube. So if you can make it to the channel to watch this show, you can get the links from there.
Correct. Sorry, I was getting messages. My other phone. Yeah. Great show tonight. Thanks. I think that's knowledge. Good night. Thank you for your time. Okay, so everybody's telling us good night. So I'm gonna do my closing, or you want to do your closing? How you want to do it tonight?
So, you normally make me go first. I mean, sorry, you normally go first and make me go last at this point in the show. I see you over there shaking your head. Y'all see that? He was trying to get out of it. So, that being said, it's your boy Frost. I thank you. I thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for being such support. Shout out to Derek Aztec Warrington. Let's get on the Facebook pages. Let's get on that GoFundMe. It's on the Discord channel. It's on everything. So let's get that GoFundMe going and help him out. He lost his house, all of his belongings. His house burned, his garage burned, everything burned. Him and his family need some help. They got a GoFundMe going. He's been a great supporter of all the different channels. So let's get out there, shout that out, and make sure you go follow Trouble for his Mental Health Mondays. I will see you again in a week. If you need me, hit up that email at the bottom, kickstandsdown@gmail. Hit up the Facebook, Discord, or whatever, and I'll be there. Other than that, it was a pleasure. I love you all. Peace.
All right, all right, all right. Y'all see how he did me tonight? I'm gonna learn tonight. All right, for real, all jokes aside. I appreciate everybody for always chiming in, showing the love, showing the support. Like I said, we got some things in the works behind the scenes that we're still working on. We're still working on apparel. We're still working on backdrops. Just a bunch of things. But this year has been, well, it started in October, but this year to be coming up on a year in October. Yeah, yeah. This year has been good so far. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I said, I'm not trying to get super famous off of this, and I don't think Frost is either. It's about getting the message across. You know what I'm saying? To whoever wants to listen. Especially if you're trying to start up, especially if you're already on the set and you have no idea what you're doing on the set, and you know who I'm talking to. I don't have to call your names out. You know what clubs that you belong to, and you know that you've been doing stuff the wrong way. This is what this is for. You know what I'm saying? To get the education up, to get the knowledge up, to make sure that we're all on the same page. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, it's your boy Trouble, aka Left Lane Bully. Like, share, subscribe. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, and keep in mind that fake love is always worse than real hate, and there's no debate. Hashtag KSD. We out of here. Peace.
I'm going in. We don't do all of that talking, bro. We going in. Yeah, everything's a go when I'm on the end. Gangsta, 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 where I begin. I'm going in.